and Robert's in. Hey, Robert, how's it going?
Hello.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. We were just talking about how we're going to set up these simulations on Lichess. So do you all have actually a Lichess account? I think because we did it last semester.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Do you guys have one?
I remember the login.
Yeah, I don't remember mine.
Okay, because I'm thinking if we do Lichess, the nice thing about that is we can play from position. So we can either challenge each other with the link. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I can just send it to you and you can play as anonymous. I think you actually can do that. Have you guys ever seen that? Where you can, who's familiar with Lichess? William, you are? Will?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah, let me try that. So I'll show you how I set it up real quick, just for those, so you'll kind of have a little bit of familiarity with that on Lichess. Okay. So we've got Lichess here, and with all your, with your very basic layout, but it is, it's light as Lichess for light and free, for Libre free, right? But it's definitely a lot more lightweight than chess.com with the ads and so forth, right? So that's one of the benefits of it, and the personalization. So learn, we would go to or tools, we could do board editor. So there's some great positions from Art of Attack in Chess. Who's ever read this book? Have you guys heard of it? By Vukovic? What's his first name? Vladimir Vukovic. So it's a classic. It's really good stuff. There's once in a while there's a book like this where the author just explains chess so well. I think the two that come to mind for me, I've recommended Jeremy Silman's How to Reassess Your Chess, right? Have you guys heard of that one? He's very good at explaining things in kind of a humorous way. This guy, not so humorous. I don't think, not that I recall, but he's good. He breaks it down. He really breaks down the constituent parts of any position. In this sense, the end is to create an attack. Whereas for Silman, it's like to create a good plan, whatever it may be, whether it's an attack, whether it's just whatever the imbalances you have to deal with in front of you. But this is a little more direct, although he has very interesting parts on like, okay, the phases of the attack or prerequisites, kind of preconditions. So, you have to be, and like how much of a commitment you're going to make before you choose to attack the king. Because like when you choose to attack, you're kind of, you may overextend yourself if you're going to go for a pawn storm or something. So it's interesting. There's a lot of good stuff if you guys have time, maybe over this for summer reading or something. Maybe the PG or get the what do you call it? Get the the electronic version maybe, and you could read it while you're traveling or something. Okay, so I will go on here, and then I'm just going to set up this position. It looks pretty interesting. It's Kotov Bondarevsky, Leningrad, 1936, which I think is St. Petersburg now, right? The old Leningrad. So we got a knight here. Just set him up. Okay, we've got this position. So, and I think what we could do is you could just play it. Okay, so you take a partner, and then you can try it from both sides. So in this case, this is about attacking the uncastled king. So kind of your romantic chess, the romantic era where nobody castled, really. So in the 1800s, barely anyone castled. And if you sacrifice something, kind of this macho notion, like you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, you're too timid or something. So this was the 1800s romantic era. That's how it was back then. This game is 1936, but there's an uncastled king. All right, we're about there. There's a knight. Okay, so it's not a pleasant situation for white, for Kotov. Kotov was very good too. He actually wrote How to Think Like a Grandmaster. That's another good one. And that's a very good game. How to Think Like a Grandmaster and How to Play Like a Grandmaster, I think. Okay, so this looks like the structure. So do you guys know the name of this structure? I think we've looked at it a bit before. What structure did black play here? Stonewall? Was that Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stonewall. Technically, I guess Stonewall Dutch or something. Yeah, it usually comes out of a Dutch, right? Like you play F5 and then you go or you can change the move order, right? But basically Stonewall Dutch. And we are missing a bishop. That looks about right. Okay, so you guys ready to practice from this position? So I can just say continue from here. It is, no, it's black to play. Okay, that should be fine. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I have everything right here. So I have to go back. Okay, continue from here. So play with a friend, and then you can either choose someone on Lead Chess, or like I said, just take the link. Okay, so oh, this might be, let's see, hold on a second. This might be if I'm to play it though. What I can do is I can also send you guys the FEN. So if I send you guys this, you can set it up yourself on the board. But if, let's say, for example, let's say I am to play with black. If I were to be, or I'll play with white, so I'll be the one being attacked in this position. Okay, it's a 10+10 game. Good for practice. To invite someone to play, give this URL. Now, I wonder if anyone can just use it. Let's see, I'm going to send you guys this URL, and you guys could sample that, kind of see if it works. And I guess the one who sends it should probably sign. I wonder if True Anonymous can play it. If you're not, like if I go through incognito mode, then I'm playing anonymously. So that's kind of fun, actually, if I'm thinking about this. You don't need to be, you know, you don't need to be a member to play here. Okay, so we have, oh, I'm playing against Will because Will clicked on it. Okay, so I'll practice with Will. Is anyone else signed in? Or someone, how about one of you guys who's not signed in, try it? Let's just sample this and kind of see how it works. See how much flexibility it gives us.
So I clicked on the link and it put me in like spectator mode of this game.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Okay, you're just a spectator. Is anyone logged in to Lead Chess?
I'm logged in.
You're logged in. Okay. So what I would do then is, okay, hold on. I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to that board editor, or did I lose it? No, you know what? If I go to board editor, hopefully it will still have that position. No, it didn't. Okay. Did it go away? Oh, you know what we can do though? Like if I go back to this link though, it should be, yeah, okay. So we're all in this game, right? Okay. So if we end the game real quick, and then doesn't let you analyze it because nothing happened. Okay, this is kind of it. Yeah, I think you guys I'm just gonna have to send you guys the FEN. Yeah, so let's just go here. Let's go to tools, board editor. So we'll take this, or I guess we can play one move and make it a game. One move and then resign or something, and then that might work too. But I'll quickly set it up now. And then I'm going to send you guys the FEN. So anyway, you can get practice in challenging someone in that situation, or you can do it against the computer. I haven't actually done too much stuff against the computer. I've always been more about kind of either doing it on my own or just playing human beings. But I don't know. Do you guys do a lot of computer prep?
Not really, no.
No.
I mean, it is useful if you use it well, but it's not as fun to me. It's just I prefer to play against a real person. But yeah, a little bit can be good. Okay, so we have the knight here. So clearly, White's king is in a dire situation. Well, at least, but it's a kind of a temporary thing. You have to strike while the iron's hot, right? If you don't take advantage of this moment, I don't know. Maybe they'll take the knight and escape. If the king can then take the knight, or the pawn will take the knight, the king will escape. So you have to do something right now. Playing with black.
Was there another knight on e5?
Yeah, there we go. Is that everything?
I think so.
That looks right. Okay, so now from here, I can take the FEN. I'll send you guys, actually there's a URL with the editor. That might be even easier. Hold on, let's try that. So I send you guys the URL. Make a little bit of get used to this thing. Once we have it down, it'll be good. Okay, so someone try that out. If you click on the URL, either if you're signed in or not, see the difference. I assume you have to be signed in to challenge someone from it.
All right, so I clicked on the link. It sent me to a board editor as well.
The new link?
Yes.
And it board editor with this position or no?
It has this position, yes.
Oh, it has this position. Perfect. Oh, make it black to play though. So make it black, click on black to play, and that's all you need to do. And then say continue from here. Challenge the swords. Do continue from here.
All right.
And then you should be able to create your own challenge link. I guess if it's my challenge link, then only I would have to be one of the ones playing, I suppose. But you can create one. And then, so how many people are we? Do we have 6? Are we going to have 3 games going or 2 games going? Is Anthony going to play or no?
I think Anthony will be busy.
Okay, he'll just kind of be around in the background maybe. Okay, so we have 2 games going then. I'll play, yeah, so I'll play somebody. Oh no, it's gonna be, okay, who's gonna play who then? Should we do first and second board, third and fourth board? Okay. And then you guys can mix it up after that, but I think that'll be good. So you guys may be a little closer in strength. I don't know. I mean, you guys are all probably pretty close, but okay. So we just need to have one of each of you, one from each board challenge. And you can either, yeah.
All right, I got.
Let's try it tonight. If you just send them the link, if they're not signed in, see if that works. What happened, Patrick?
I put my link in the chat.
Okay, so that would be Andres, right? You want to click on, are you signed in, Andres? Or?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so you're already in there. That'll be easy then.
And
And Robert, who's heading it up between you guys? Okay, Will's gonna
Will
send
just
it.
sent it, so I clicked on it.
Okay, what happened? Or if you guys want,
Yeah, I was able to join.
you're able to join. Perfect. Okay, then we can play. We probably, oh, you can choose the time control. I would suggest
Also,
maybe.
it did remember, Lichess did remember all of my information, so I was able to log in.
Oh, cool. I guess it's not, again, it's not one of those heavy sites. It's not supposed to take too many cookies. But I guess those are it just takes the essentials.
Oh, but isn't Black supposed to go first, right?
I'll stop share.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
But you set it up so Black went first on both yours, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And if you guys want, wait, can you both screen share? Do we set it up so we can have multiple screen shares at once?
I think it can only be one screen share at a time.
There is a way you can make it though, where you can have multiple. Let me see. I don't think I have the authority to do that. Yeah, that would be probably Anthony would have to do that, but it's okay. I'll find you guys. How about that? I'll find you guys and I'll kind of toggle. So you guys are all playing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take time on your first, before you make your first move. You can take as much time as you need before you go. Okay, so what's one of your usernames? Do you mind if I have it up there? If I have the game kind of spectating?
Okay. I put my username in the chat.
I won't say too much though. I'll just watch the games and then afterwards we'll analyze. Okay. Oh right, I remember that one. Yeah, probably at chess.com as well. And then if you guys want to, oh, and we got Will. Cool. Okay. All right. Good luck. So you're working on your attack and defense. Find your resources with Black, and stop your opponent's resources, or find your own interesting resources defensively as White. Okay, so you guys are kind of doing your initial analysis, just kind of, you got this position thrown in front of you. It's like, what do I do here? I would always start just by getting, a good evaluation, solid evaluation of what's going on here. So what are your initial thoughts? If you guys want to share anything you think at first, what are some prospects for Black? what are some maybe potential resources white has? Okay. Yeah, we will see. We will see in the games. So I'll just kind of go back and forth, and we'll have it on the video.
It's supposed to be black who moves first, right?
Yeah, it's set that way on both, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said it on mine, but for some reason it won't let me make a move.
Oh, that changes things then. Yeah, if you press back, are you able to easily change it? Or if you just click on that link again and just
Says
kind of
it's my
reset
turn
it, is that
as
easy to
white.
do? What's that?
Yeah, it says it's my turn as white. Let's see
Ah,
that.
okay, go back then. Maybe if you just go backspace, then to the previous screen, are you able to easily change it? Or if you just go to the URL I sent, I think it should be pretty easy to do, just to reset it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that again.
Okay.
Black to
And okay, we're off to the races. Will versus Sacred. Oh, I like that. Sacred Gambit. Which would be,
That's me.
that's Robert. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we got a lot of action here. Right off the bat. So C5. We both have a lot of hanging pieces all over the place, loose pieces. The knight falls, bishop falls with check. Okay. And the white king is trying to survive this. Okay, so you guys are good now with Patrick's move?
Yeah, I
All right.
think it's working now.
Okay. Interesting. So basically, it looks like Will is maybe doing a piece sacrifice in order to draw the king out. Okay, we'll see how that goes. That's interesting. Okay. Same choice with black, c5, though. Seems like a good choice. We actually have the exact same thing happening on the same couple of initial moves on the same on both boards. Okay, this will be very interesting to see where it diverges. Yeah, this is a complete mess. Interesting. So now you got a piece back. So effectively, Petri D is down in exchange with clearly a lot of compensation. But at the same time, Ducky 628 is like creating a sort of pawn storm. So it's very double edged. And Sacred Gambit is taking a good long think here because it's a critical position. The only annoying thing having the black pieces here is that there's a little bit of a lack of development, right? So it's like okay, you want to make use of the pieces that are out, but it's like, okay, well, once I start to untangle my queen side, then maybe white consolidates. So it's a tricky balance there. Hmm. Yeah, it's become interesting. At the beginning, it was super dynamic. Now the game changes sometimes from this dynamic to static, and then it gets dynamic again. So now we're kind of in a static phase. Um, Patrick versus Andres.
Yeah, I definitely flubbed mine.
What happened? You messed it up?
Well, let's just say that the overwhelming amount of white pieces is overpowering.
Right, right. So it's like if you don't make it happen, and then again, you don't have the queenside developments, then he just consolidates and he starts trying to trade and whatnot. And it becomes difficult. Let's see. Right. So now he has the move again. So he kind of sees the initiative a bit. Let's see. What's the piece count? Are we down a whole rook?
Yep, we are.
Somehow your king is still maybe arguably a little bit safer. I don't know. We'll see about that. But
I need to find unique, clever ways of
right.
manipulation.
Yeah, it's danger zone. This is the danger zone. But still, yeah. And interestingly, actually, the king on c3, yeah, he actually is somewhat safe, a lot safer than he was on e3. Right. So you're saying that maybe your last move you weren't too happy with. Since he blocks, he blocks and then counterattacks simultaneously. Yeah. Bishop f3 is solid.
Yeah, I probably should have stuck it on f4.
Right. Essentially, it would be a tempo saver.
Mm-hmm.
So now he gets a little more initiative, but okay. This is interesting. Yeah, this is unclear. This is very unclear. You both have resources for sure. Yep, good move. That's your resource. Good job. That was a good find. So that stirs up a lot of complications.
Yeah, I noticed that move before, and I was just kind of hoping they went to it because I kind of liked how those pieces were.
Right, and it's like I think this was the right moment to do it, because when the bishop was on f4, maybe he could have almost thought about doing it immediately, but somehow it's slightly better to do it now, I think, without the bishop being under attack on f4.
Yeah, I didn't catch it until now. It wasn't until he started throwing in my knight I realized I'm about to lose material. I need to find a way to gain it back.
Right, right. So you have to be resourceful, and that's what a lot of defense is, just being resourceful. And when you study, like when you do endgame puzzles as well, like it's almost all of them are about interesting ways, of being resourceful. Yeah, that knight just Robert's knight re-centralizes to d3, just holding tight, holding on tight there. Re-centralizing is a good choice. I feel like a sports commentator a little bit right now. Well, that's kind of how it is with the chess streams, right?
White has a crushing advantage. It would
right, right. What will you do next? But this is yeah, chess has become esports now, right? With the pandemic, it's become huge, So I mean, I think it's good in terms of people being able to make more people that can make a living from chess. Basically, there's more ways to do that if they want to, or at least make something on the side, right, for professional players and stuff, or even for amateurs. So it's just another. It's making the game more interesting to the general public, I guess. Yeah, Robert seized the moment, and now he's making it tough to come back here. Let's see what you come up with. Hmm. Well, yeah, it may not be checkmate though. It looks scary. That's a scary looking queen on h7 there, but that was very resourceful though by Andres there. Knight, it was knight to f2. That was a very good move. Sneaky, dealt with everything at once. Very nice.
I had seen that the queen had a line there, and I needed to be sure that it didn't happen. And then I just didn't pay. Like when it actually happened, I just forgot.
Yeah, it happens to me sometimes too. I'm like, okay, mental note, but then something else happens and distracts you from it.
You're just all
But-
like, okay, I need to be sure that queen doesn't take that diagonal. Ooh, free knight.
But you're right, the shiny object. But fortunately, there is no checkmate. It's just, serendipitously the queen just happens to be on f2 right now, and she's covering f7. And I'm not sure. Yeah, it's still a game for sure. Well, currently you have 3 pieces for a rook, but might be coming. But still, if you have 2 bishops that could be secured for a rook, I tend to prefer the bishops. So it's just you have to consolidate though. So we'll see whether that can happen here. Yeah, it's good defense by Will, because you were in a bit of a tight spot there, but now it looks like you're not getting checkmated, and your pieces are starting to come out. So maybe you'll be okay.
I don't know. I think the beatdown will be swift and quick.
You think so? Well, I mean, he is up a rook. Yeah, he is up a rook. So even if it's not quick, it will be hard to come back being down a rook unless you still have your attack on his king. And I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell who's better in this game. Like, you're both attacking each other simultaneously, so it's this is wild. Petri D, Ducky 628.
Yeah, Robert, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but like there's like in 4 moves you can like totally like checkmate me.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm really hard. I'm like, I know it's here. It's somewhere. It's hiding.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but like don't find it.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard because it looks like the king can run to e8, like f7, e8, and kind of. But now you reversed it. Now, at first it was the white king that was running around. Now it's gonna be the black king who's running around, right? Unless you can stop him from getting out. I don't know. Is there a way to do that?
No hints, David.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't. I'm not
Yeah.
sure yet. It seems like he can get to f7 though. So.
Hmm.
Afterwards, by the way, after the game, I'll show you guys what the player actually did. So you can see how Kotov lost, who was it? Bondarevsky, how he actually beat him in 1936. Okay, hold on. I thought that there was a checkmate here for Andresen. I thought I saw a checkmate.
Yeah, I kind of blundered earlier, and I'm not sure what I am doing now.
I'm just trying not to mess
You
up my
hung
games.
Yeah.
the rook.
Yeah, he
I
took
see.
my knight when the rook was hanging.
I see.
I thought everything was going
Although-
well.
Otherwise, it would have been two pieces for a rook. I don't know. I thought I almost saw a checkmate there, but after queen f5, I think. No, it wasn't actually a checkmate. It was almost, but there's some resources, amazing resources here. Just when you think it looks like it's totally lost.
I don't want
And
to give
now-
this game away.
Yeah, now Patrick is back in the game though. Yeah, interesting.
Well,
I think it was probably the time.
I'm looking. I can't find it. It's hard. I'm missing something.
Okay, well at least you guys have unlimited time, so you're not,
Mhm.
you don't have to worry about losing on time.
Set it up a little smarter than that, I know.
Huh. Well, your bishop finally developed, which is useful. Yeah, see the thing is, actually,
Let's go. Oh no. Oh wait a minute.
I thought he was gonna do that when the rook was still on g1, so he can keep the pawn there or something. But now, I don't know. Now the knight at least has the option of taking back. Yeah, but we'll see how long. I mean, obviously he's under a lot of fire, so it's not that easy. Yeah, that's just. I think what you did is just simple and strong, Robert. You just open lines, get your rook on the open lines. That's just straightforward. We call simple chess. If in doubt, if you're not sure what to do, just stick your pieces on open lines, right? Where they can put pressure on your opponent and hopefully infiltrate. Yeah, I still got some stiff resistance
Oh,
here.
this might be. I think that's. Is that?
Oh, yeah, you see something?
Yeah, I think it's me.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah. Because the pin knight, right? After the next move, yeah. Okay. Yeah, these are some pretty dramatic games.
Yeah.
That was good practice. Well, now if you guys want, you can swap. Do you guys want to swap sides now? Do you want to try it? Wait, hold on. So this was okay. So black was attacking. It really, at least what he did, it was based on a particular move that black started with, which really sparked, well, it really let this attack take off for black in the initial position, which is a pretty hard move to find. It's a very complex puzzle. So essentially, so maybe look at the initial position again and try to find another move that black can do. Here's your hint. It's not a move you would first expect as a primary candidate move. Okay. Oh, what happened here? Oh, he ran out of time. But I guess, yeah, by that point, I guess Patrick had enough material. Yeah. I mean, it's actually still tricky, but theoretically it should be a win with the extra bishop. Yeah. As long as you don't trade off all the pawns. But like you can, kick the king back or something eventually, maybe even, avoid the trade, like stick your pawn on b4. And then you can probably, or even if the king's here, you can then, use the bishop's influence on the diagonal to support the rook infiltration. And you can probably easily win the nice thing about the extra piece is you can gang up on one piece with two, right? I mean, you can gang up on a pawn with two, they can only use one to support it. So just watch out for the A pawn, obviously, but it should be a win. It's close though. That was a very back and forth battle there. That was interesting. And then this one with Will and Robert. It was interesting how you guys both started the same way with C5 and takes the knight, takes the bishop. So what happened here is basically the king started running, but he kind of ran to safety. He got out of the center, and then pretty much Robert was able to consolidate, right? And then I guess then there was that one mistake here. The queen, as you realize in hindsight, the queen g3 check, because that just helps him with the bishop when the bishop moves, simultaneously obstructing and clearing a line, right? Obstructing the third rank, beginning to clear the G file. And I think at that point it's just material decides it, right? If Will doesn't have enough, material wins there.
The onslaught.
What's that?
None of I didn't have any pieces to work with to prevent the onslaught.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the tricky thing about this is so right now when you begin, you have 4 attackers plus some pawns. These guys are probably not going to be factors, I guess, in an initial, if you're going to go for a quick knockout here. The bishop and the rook on the queen side are probably not going to be utilized anytime, especially because you have the Stonewall Dutch where this bishop is usually an awful piece. So you kind of concede, okay, this is just not a good piece. But again, for example, the E4, and that actually often happens in a Stonewall, where the knight comes in and offers itself up, or there's some kind of, it looks like we've offered a rook already. Yeah, so somehow there was a rook sacrifice, like on the G file or something. But obviously black has gained a lot in terms of pressure on the king. So I guess the move that black did in the game is really the one way to win. And in this game, well, it's interesting how Andres was able to create the counterattack. You guys see the position, right? On the shared screen, you guys see this now? Yeah. This counterattack with the pawn avalanche was pretty interesting. Although in this position, the white king was less secure than in the other game. Because after you acquired control of this diagonal, I think maybe you should just take the bishop. I don't know, does that work? Because I do not like that bishop controlling the diagonal. If I were playing white here, it's a very strong, because that's what gives you those prospects. Like, especially now that it's seen, then I think you made a good move here, Patrick, when you took on G5, you just secured this, and you can always play H6 or something and anchor it if you need to deal with the rook. But that's actually ensuring that you're clogging up the file. So we're not going to have like in the other game with G6 now, even though it may be pinned, but you have this pressure, which means this is going to be really strong because you're actually threatening in some cases to almost take with mate if the knight can't go back. Like if the knight moves, it can almost be mate in certain lines. So this is a nice mating net actually that you've created. It's very uncomfortable to deal with.
I wonder what happens instead of taking the pawn right there. What happens if you simply play immediately rook h8, forcing the queen to go to either g4, g3, and then putting the knight back to e1 to defend the bishop? Then what you do is you have a hidden surprise, so that when you move that pawn, now suddenly the diagonal is open.
Yeah, well, that's like he did in the game. Similar to rather than going to f2, he'll just go to e1, which might even be even more secure because obviously then I had to be a little loose out there on f2. So this would be a kind of tighter. everything's kind of tight and secure, after, I was actually thinking of one idea for black, which I thought looked interesting when you took this. I was like, oh, wait, what if you can play a knight here and here? If you have 2 moves to get to G4, that's pretty strong. Because then you've got to worry about a fork and stuff from E3. Then black's attack can really pick up here. If it's going to take you 3 moves. Potentially just coming in here too. There's a few ideas for black for sure here. So white is up what? In this case, white's only up in exchange too. So yeah, definitely black is doing better in this game than the other game. There's better chances here. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe knight F6 is interesting as well, because now he has a nice move here, but then you have a nice counter, very nice move, queen H2. And then I really like this move too. I didn't see that move. That was a great move. And does this just win? Does it win? Let's see. Trying to get a final judgment on this. If the queen takes H7, I mean, it's so convenient that the queen stops the mate, but there are some uncomfortable checks. I think what happened is, Patrick, when your king came out, I think you had to be a little more cautious with the steps he took.
Yeah, it was a very dangerous position for me because there were several forced moves, and then I also saw at one point like the wrong move would result in checkmate.
Right. Let me see. I thought there was something he had.
Could you play queen to E8?
I'm looking at that. Well, there's bishop. Oh, there's a bishop block because he has 2 pieces on it. Right. You can't block. Just take. That's strong. Yeah. And then if
the king moves to the F file, then you have the rook that checks, and then you can take the queen up there.
You can actually, when it checks,
Yeah,
the bishop blocks, you take the bishop, he takes back, then you skewer him. Then you pick up the, then
I saw the skewer.
Skewer idea,
Yeah,
right? So yeah, I think you did have queen. Well, this still looks pretty promising, but maybe this was more accurate. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. This pawn is not only attacking the knight, it's actually better that it didn't take the knight because it's forming a mating net in here. You can't go here. You can't go any of these. You can't go any of these. He's only got 1 square right now, so it's very restricted.
Yeah, E5 was the only good space.
And now that you go here, you can only go to E. Yeah, right, because the rook F7. Oh, right. So essentially, de facto, this is taken away from black because he knows that anytime he goes there, he's losing the queen. Again, the line. Yeah, the line would be the check, block, sack, take, skewer, pick up the queen, and white wins. So here, yeah, but then you hung. Oh, there's just not. I was thinking, oh, you should go to F5, but given that there is rook F7, then right, you still have rook F7, but I don't know. You have to try it maybe, but now you're running into another check, which is very unpleasant.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous spot.
But it somehow worked out for you then. Yeah, that was a pretty nice reversal though, because it looked very, looked dire here. Well, what about the rook E7 check? Then bishop E6, right? And this rook would love to get in the game, but it's a little too slow.
But you could also then if you play rook E7 and then the bishop blocks, you actually have a very surprise move in queen G3 check. Either the king moves up and puts himself in more harm's way, or he moves the queen up to F4, in which case you change and then you win the bishop.
Wait, hold on. No, there's a mate. There's a mate there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, if he goes to F, okay, let's say, oh, that's nice. That's not, no, so you're saying if you go here, and if he goes here, now you come back to G7, that looks like a mate. So,
and if he goes forward to F4, then you have a very nice move in queen to D3, and that should also.
Wait, hold on a second. Oh, you're saying after queen G7 check? No, I mean after queen G3 check.
Yeah.
After this, wait, and then if he blocks with, well, he can only go to F6 or block with queen F4.
Queen, you can exchange him, and then you can capture the bishop.
Oh, even better. Let's take the bishop first to decoy the king.
Okay.
Right? That's winning on the spot. And then if the king comes over, you just sack the rook again. You sack it, pull the king away. I think we had something similar in that really complicated game that you had last time, Will. Yeah. You had some stuff where you were attacking the king, and I think you had white, and you did an interesting sack. And yeah, you had a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Yeah, so this is just intuitively though, if the king's like this, like something is gonna happen. This king should be in trouble. So yeah, you almost had that, but I think at that point, Andreas, I think you were just too low on time.
Yeah, I started turning my attention toward the knight, and I just I didn't pay as close attention to what's going on with the queen and the rook coordination.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you have these kinds of checks,
game material, it was not.
Yeah, when you have this situation where he's he's confined to the E and the F files. You know there's got to be something here because he can't come over here. And anytime he walks, you can easily force him to the certain checks can force him to the F file. And then he's walking into like losing his queen. Oh wait, hold on. There's one line where if it's a rook check, this one doesn't allow me to move the piece. Anyway, it's probably better to calculate, work on your visualization. So check, blocks, checks. We already know he can't go to F6 because the queen G7 mate there. So he goes up here. Then what happens? Do we have something?
You have queen D3 check.
Queen D3.
Yeah.
Now he has to go. He goes back. He wants to stay here. Do we have anything there?
Oh,
maybe white has a perpetual check. Maybe white just takes a draw. Oh no, well no, white wants to win still. Although if black consolidates, he has, which is hard to do. He does have 2 pieces for a rook, which is kind of nice. So what would happen there? Check, queen G3, king E4. I would love to have that rook in the game, but let's see. I don't know. I think there's kind of a Houdini-like escape there, huh? It's just a lot of, in some cases it just loses. And in other lines, like if you play, and you both have to be very precise in your maneuvers here. But maybe, okay. Oh, but then, in that line though, at least the rook isn't hanging at the end of the line. So then he's up in exchange. Wait, hold on. Let's just quickly play. This is interesting. Let's just quickly play it on the analysis board. So, okay. So where were we? Okay, we don't need the computer assistance. We'll just figure it out. Okay, so here. So again, it looked like, wait, so queen E8, this was the winner, right?
Yeah.
That was the win, yeah. But even here, you can still have a better end game. And it's interesting. Again, I thought you had this move, but I didn't realize if you go here, simply wins the queen, block, sack. Very nice combo. Pick up the queen. Forcing the skewer. Okay, so he goes here, you go here. Yeah, now first. Oh, okay. So if you're going to go for it, Andres, yeah, again, it was just your time pressure. But if you had more time, I'm sure you would have found it. But the key is to insert this in-between move, intermezzo, right? You insert the intermezzo or the Zwischenzug before you take, right? And then the bishop has to block. And now you can you can simply make your trade now if you want to do the same thing. And you're up in, now white's the one who's playing for a win. It's a hard win, but I mean, it is an extra, it's like an exchange for, I mean, even if you take, these pawns are really fragmented. Well, he'll just take this one. Yeah, white should be theoretically winning, right?
Yeah, it was a very precarious position.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like +3 or something. If you put computer now, +2, +3, no, even more than that. Now it's saying +4, +5. So it's, the computer's basically saying white's winning, but mostly because the pawns are so fragmented. If black had maybe another pawn and more secure position, like better pawn structure, black can often hold with an exchange down in this kind of position, but not here. It's mostly because the pawns are so fragmented. This is going to fall easily. You could bring a rook or you could bring the king up and take it probably. Okay. And we can also create threats with the rooks that are stronger. So, okay, do you guys want to see do you want to play from the other side, or do you want to just see what actually happened in the game now?
I'm curious on what actually happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since we're already in the analysis board, we go to the beginning. Okay, maybe you guys could try to find it. Let me see. So first move for black. Let's talk about some other candidate moves. We both went for both players with black went for c5, which is not not a bad move, reasonable. But
I did not
as it
even
turned out,
consider
it
that
was
move.
escape.
I did not even consider c5. I was looking at all the queen and.
I was looking a lot at queen moves.
Takes.
Well, the most obvious move is probably just queen takes pawn check. That's the most tempting move, right?
Yeah, that was the first move. I didn't think it worked though because I think the pawn push.
Wait, hold on. Well, if the pawn, well, first of all, it takes away the threat on the knight. I don't know. Wait, hold on. So black is currently down a rook, yeah. So black needs to make something happen. He can't just like cash in here. He needs to make something happen. He can't just go into an endgame or something. He's down a rook, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7 to 6. So if he takes here, he did the rook stack, but he anticipated something nice here. But if he takes F4. I don't know. Yeah, queen G3 check fails to bishop here, and then the queen's pinned to
What
the
if
king.
instead of moving the pawn, what if you simply move the knight on D3?
You can probably, well, yeah, in any case, there's always that threat of moving the bishop and winning the queen because it's very uncomfortable. So you almost don't want to win the G pawn because it sort of backfires by unleashing.
Yeah, the pawn looks very
right.
poisoned to me.
It's a poisoned pawn, exactly. I think so.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go with it.
Fair enough. Now, but this is such a precariously placed king, though. He's stalemated currently, right? He has no moves. So, okay. So what does he say? He says, this game position rose from that game I mentioned. The future grandmasters were playing in a first category tournament. Black to move directed the second and third acts of the drama as follows. Okay, well, he's still an entertaining writer. But yeah, no, he's very good. I recommend it if you want to work on your attack. And he actually has a section on defense. But the thing about learning how to attack really well is it helps your defense too, because you think if you're the one under attack, you're like, oh, okay, I can visualize this from my opponent's perspective. What would I do if I had their position? And what would be the most unpleasant thing that I want to see? Also, to be an effective attacker, we've talked about this a lot, I think, right? To be an effective attacker, you really have to be able to anticipate the best defenses. Otherwise, you're going to walk into some line that fails to some simple defense, right? Or even a complicated defense. But the point is, it's going to be spoiled somehow. So you have to be able to anticipate your opponent's best move. As Kasparov said, always expect your opponent's going to make the best move, and then you're going to embed that in your calculation tree. That's going to inform your calculation tree to ensure that it's the most accurate, right? Otherwise, you're essentially working with bad data, right? Your tree is not going to be accurate. So you want that, and then because you're anticipating, I move, my opponent moves, I move, my opponent moves, with the most accurate for both sides, attack and defense. Then you are sure whether the attack works or not. Okay, so this position. Okay, do you guys want me to tell you the first move? Well, let's talk about a couple more, just other candidate moves. So it's not.
Yeah, I'm looking at F4.
F4. There you go. That's actually what it was. Well, let's calculate. Nice. Let's calculate what it was, like why it worked. It's pretty tricky. I mean, it looks like the knight just takes it. What would the follow through be?
Queen F2.
Right. They're pulling. Yeah, I was looking at whether a queen sack even works. That doesn't seem to be sufficient. But you are removing the defense from this essential square. The weakness on F2. When the knight moves, the queen comes in, forcing him to D3. Then what? It looks pretty good. But what now?
Then you can play rook to C5 check. Bishop is forced to take it.
Wait. What's a C5?
So once you put the queen on F2, king goes to D3. You have a check from the D7 knight to C5.
Ah, right. Okay. So king is on D3. And are you simply just going with the knight check, and then if the bishop takes, the other knight takes?
The other knight would take.
Now he's running though. Where is he able to fly? You want to take away his flight squares to keep him in the mating net. Where's he running to?
He'd be trying to run to D2 and C3. That is correct.
Right. He'd actually have. Yeah, I was thinking C3. You're right. He has two squares actually. So I'm looking at another move here. Every move you should be looking at your most forcing moves. Every time you're at a new move, what's your most forcing move? So queen F2 check. After knight's on F4, queen F2, king D3. Okay, what's your most forcing move that you got to consider here?
I mean, you do have a knight capture on E5 too.
There's that. There's a check. We should always look at capture checks. And I haven't seen the full solution yet, so I'm kind of working through this with you guys. But so yeah, there's so many examples in the whole book. I haven't looked at them all.
Diverts the bishop and maintains the attacks. Protects the flight squares on D2.
If you do which move?
Knight on the D side takes the E5 knight. not only does it prevent the bishop from attacking the queen, by diverting it, you still have the escape squares blocked off on d2 and c3.
Okay, but then what's our follow through there? Do we have another check after that? No checks available, huh? Because you've given up your knight.
I think what then you can do is you can play you could play a less forceful move and then bishop to b4, which blocks it off and then threatens to do a knight check on c5. And if the bishop returns,
that's interesting. That's interesting.
file.
That's true. It's reminding me of a game I recently looked at by famous Petrosian versus Pac-Man, actually. Petrosian and White. And he plays a move bishop to, he goes in, he replaces the king on g7 with his own bishop. The king comes out, then he goes bishop g7 himself to stop the king from wrapping around to h6, and then after a queen sacrifice. I was actually even considering a queen sacrifice here of queen takes bishop. That's interesting too, just to remove the bishop altogether, because you've got two knights and a bishop swarming around, so you might want to calculate that too. But it's definitely worth looking at. It's the most forcing, right? Queen takes pawn, queen takes bishop check. But let's look at that line that you just mentioned first. So you're saying knight, it was knight takes knight check, right? Making his bishop take. So we went knight takes knight check, bishop takes, and then you're saying bishop to b4.
Or even you could put the bishop on. Oh no, wait, the king is on d3. Yeah.
So bishop. No, that's an interesting idea. Again, like the
Like
Petrosian, it's creating a mating net.
Yeah. The only problem is that then the knight can be captured still from f3.
What about bishop to c5, with the idea that if hold on a minute, so the bishop would be there, and then the queen is on f2. So if the
you're
bishop,
looking at potential queen sacrifice, then
if the bishop takes and the knight takes on e5, that's mate, I believe. Yeah.
Right. So you're seeing, but that's the mate. Yeah, that's what you guys are very close to. It looks like what we have would be a mate, because we're cutting off this line. The knight cuts off these squares already. I think we want to try to make knight c5 work, which is why we should strongly consider just sacking the most forceful. Just get rid of the bishop altogether. So that would allow us to. Well, let's calculate that one now. So queen f2 check. After king d3, queen takes bishop check, king takes bishop. Do we have a good follow through to that?
Or you could simply respond by actually capturing back with the bishop, because then you take full complete control of that file with the rook on it. The king can't still move to d2 because the knight's blocking it, and if he captures with the knight, suddenly the queen can move to d5. That's checkmate.
Here, hold on. What's the line now? You're saying queen.
Yeah. So
check?
f4. Yeah.
Sorry. After f4 check, knight takes.
F4, knight
Queen f2, king d3. Then what?
Then you capture with the knight, which checks the bishop. It has to take it, but then you take back with the bishop. Now, if the white king takes the knight, that's queen d5 checkmate, and the queen can't come and defend because the bishop's guarding those squares, and the king can't escape because that knight is still alive.
So you want to go queen here. You want to mate there on d4.
But you have to take back. You have to take back first.
Right after bishop takes knight, you're trying to mate on d4, right?
Yes.
So now in terms of, like I talked about, anticipating the best defense. Let's see. I think there may be one, because it's not forcing. That's the thing. This is not a forcing line. It's just a recapture. It gives him a moment to stop to fight for control of that square on d4 by doing what? Seems like it. How does he stop your queen
Is it
from
perhaps
reaching?
possible to play a line and then go back to the line? Because it might be easier to visualize.
Yeah, now we can do it. Okay. But I was just trying to have you guys work through the whole thing. But let's look at this line. So check. at least for the visualization, although the arrows might get a little bit distracting, but okay, so now just make sure we're all on the same page. But check here, but in the game, you gotta do it all the work in your head. So
The
king
fourth-
here. Now the idea was what? Knight takes?
Knight takes. Yep.
Takes, bishop takes. Okay, so you're trying to get here. Okay, so now find a good defense. So yeah, it's pretty hard, right? You would have to find a defense to this. What are we at? How many moves in are we? Several moves in. We're in the 5th move now. So on the 5th move, you'd have to find a good defense for white to stop queen d4. What do you think that would be? Actually, I'm not sure if it suffices here. Yeah, but I'm looking at.
Wait, what I'm pawn moving. E.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, but I didn't look further than that yet. And actually, after e3, I think it fails. What does it fail to?
Oh, knight to c5.
He's
C5.
still on the mating net, and
That's still
it's
checkmate.
mate.
So do you have to move the queen then?
It's pretty tough. You're threatening knight c5 mate and queen d4 mate at the same time. You have 2 mate threats there. That's what makes it so hard to meet. Is there any resources? You can't, and so that's why you don't have time to take the knight, because you get mated there by the queen. So okay, what would he have to do then? I don't know. I don't think there's a defense.
So queen to I don't know, the back row somewhere.
Oh, give himself the c2 square. Right. He makes the c2. Good call. So let's say queen d1 or something. That's not right. That might be the defense then.
But at the same time, you could easily go queen d4. King has to go to d2.
Yeah, you're right. It still might work. It's just very strong. And then you come in.
Forced to move again, and then you check.
Boom. You just walk him down
Yep.
into a very bad castled position.
Yes.
Interesting. So that looks okay. Let's see. Let's double check. Is there any other queen move then? So we can't. Okay. Maybe you said queen move somewhere. Let's be precise. Maybe this is better because it stops the queen b2 mate anyway.
But then also,
we can still take it. You can still take a1 with check, can't you?
You also have the knight to d2 check.
When
You have queen d4, king goes to c2. Then you put the queen up at c3, king goes back, and now you have knight d2 check.
forcing the queen,
capture.
and then you'll mate, forcing the queen to give itself up, followed by mate. Actually, I think there was something else. What was I saying? Check. There was something here. Oh, I think I was looking at knight c5 and then queen take. No, then the queen blocks. Although this is pretty strong too. You can walk. Oh, wow. Those are some beautiful combos. And then you have a knight mate on f2. And if he comes this way, you can
capture
take
the rook.
this. You can take the rook with check if you want to. Yeah. Oh wait, then we can pretty much repeat the scenario.
Mhm.
We can wait. Does this work? No, we can just go like this. He can't go here because the mate on f2, so he goes here. Then we can do the move you talked about. This one, force the queen to give itself up, and then we're gonna mate on b2 anyway. So on the next move. So yeah, that all works. I think it all works, but I think the move that he did in the game, the thing is, it's just we always prefer the most forcing line because it guarantees that we don't have to do the work of thinking, okay, how can he get out of it? It's the most efficient, ensuring he doesn't escape, right? We always prefer that if possible. That's like your proof, right? If you can make it the most forcing line. King d3, there's no way out of that. Okay, so king d3. Here, yeah. What about the queen stack? Let's calculate that here from this position. A few moves from here. So, because you see, I mean, if you see the king this limited, you've got to look at it. So queen takes bishop, king takes bishop, then what?
The problem is that there's really nothing stopping him from getting back to.
Well, the knight's still on e4 though. The knight's still doing its job. He hasn't been taken yet. He's still controlling. He's controlling all the dark squares as escape, and his own pawns are doing the job for us of stopping the light square escapes. Right. So all you got to do is get him on what? Check him on e3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. So let's just look at the sequence. So queen takes, or try to visualize it. So queen takes bishop, king takes bishop, then what?
Mm.
You seen it? You seen
Yes.
something?
So queen sacrifice, then you play bishop e to c 5 check, king goes to d3. Now you capture with the knight and that's checkmate.
So yeah, I was trying to make knight c5 work, but right, it looks like because your bishop is the one that's going to take away that flight square. Well, not much of a flight, but the one that it creates it completes the mating net.
Yeah, I see that.
Check them on the light squares, hitting the d3. So you got those two under control, and we've already got everything around the web complete, right? Do you
Yeah.
guys can you guys all visualize it here?
Yeah, I see.
Queen takes bishop, right? King takes, I think we're going for bishop c5 check, king d3, knight takes e5 mate. Okay, we'll play it out. It's all forced. But yeah, anytime he's in such a net like this, you can get away with a lot. Anyway, let me see if that's what it says. In the game, it was f4 check, knight takes king d3, queen takes d4, king takes d4, bishop c5 check, king d3, knight takes e5 mate. Yeah, I like these positions. They're really great. And it's not, I don't know, it's not something you might see in a regular puzzle or something on chess.com or whatever. It's pretty sophisticated. But even if you don't find the answer, it's still an interesting game to play from. Like even if you don't find f4 immediately, which is pretty hard to find on the spot. But still, the more you do these kinds of positions, the more likely you are to find. And the problem is you will usually have this position in time pressure, which I'm notorious for. So I'm notorious for winning positions and throwing them away in time, throwing away my masterpieces in time. Sometimes they work, sometimes, but that's affected my rating for sure. It would probably be a lot higher if I can overcome that weakness. That's definitely, well, I overcame it to some extent to finally reach the master level. But that was definitely something I had to work on. That was my main weakness, was getting into time. Maybe it was perfectionism, maybe lack of confidence in my moves or something. It could be a mix of the two, right? Where you're like hesitation, right? We're just wanting to be, sort of perfection, wanting to play the best move, but you got to manage it well. I like to get lost in the game and enjoy it. In a 2-hour game, you're playing a 2-hour game. Once you get below an hour, that quickly becomes half an hour, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, So 30-second increment is my friend though. I do like the 30-second increment games because I can ride the increment, get down to 5 seconds and rack up a couple minutes pretty quickly. But yeah, that's a nice one. I like this one a lot. So if you guys want, I could send Anthony like a couple more of these. These are just instructive. So these are basically it'll give you just some narrative underneath it. And then I'm pretty sure he gives you puzzles too. So I can but mostly, this is mostly a narrative book. And then it has a whole section on mating patterns. So to make sure you know every single type, like the Arabian mate and all sorts of mating patterns that you may not have, like the 2 knights mate and stuff. So it's pretty cool. All right, well, good work, guys. So I will send that to Anthony and just check that. I would recommend checking out the book Art of Attack. That's a classic, Art of Attack in Chess. Work on attack, and then there's actually another book called Art of Defense in Chess. If you really want to get deep into defense, it's actually because a lot of people underestimate defense, so that's or kind of undervalue it. So that's a good one to look at too. You guys have any questions about the position? No.
It's always nice to see a queen sack.
The queen sack.
I always love seeing queen sacks.
Oh yeah. The glorious queen sacrifices. Yeah, that was. Well, I like the whole f4. It's just once you start looking at f4 check though, it's a hard move to see. But once you look at it, you're like everything is set up. And well, he probably saw it too earlier than this to prepare his rooks to justify the rook sacrifice. Wherever I don't know what he did. You can look up the game from 1930. The Kotov. What was his name? Bondarevsky. Kotov or Kotov Bondarevsky, 1936. St. Petersburg or Leningrad. So yeah, I'd like to see how he actually got here. But probably a couple moves earlier, he already anticipated this whole thing. It's all forced from there. So for a grandmaster, that's child's play for a grandmaster, right? To see any kind of force sequence like that. But yeah, it's good for visualization. All right, great job, guys. So I'll see you, I guess, later on in the month or something.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Good luck with your studies. Take care.
Thank you.
Sure thing.